Hello, cats and kittens. Odewa Jose, Yoroshiku. Welcome back to the Crisis Corner and the Manga Corner. Manga Mondays, technically. Anyway, giving my impressions of One Piece 1011, The Code of Sweet Beans. That's the title. This chapter was okay. It was all right, but I had some issues with it, but that not enough to say that it was bad or that I hated it. But the preceding issues are going to make the difference. First of all, the new homie that Big Mom creates is extremely powerful, which means that's going to be the one that she keeps, and somehow, some way, she's going to give Zeus to Nami. That's my guess. There ain't no way Nami's getting it. Well, she's a thief, but she can't steal Hera. Hera is the name of the new lightning homie that Big Mom creates, and it blasts Kid and Killer off the roof onto the third floor before they know what hit them. So it's a powerful lightning homie, more powerful than Zeus, I guess. Unless Nami feeds Zeus some of them little black clouds, maybe he can amp back up to being strong or whatever. But this is a powerful homie. Powerful. So that's that. And the battle between Kaido and Luffy is ongoing. Law extracts Zoro and Zeus from the roof and goes to the lower levels of the castle or whatever it is, so as to keep Zeus away from Big Mom and let Zoro rest, probably to get healed. As far as Luffy and Kaido goes, I don't see this fight ending well for Luffy because he's huffing and puffing, and Kaido, although he's taken damage and he's clearly been hit and hurt, he's not huffing and puffing. At least I don't see any sound effects for him huffing and puffing. But they're locked in a heated battle at this point. I mean, Luffy he's putting in work. And this is a legitimate fight. I don't think Kaido's holding anything back. This is two beasts going at it. You know what I mean? This is a serious fight. Now, granted, Luffy has just figured out how to use Conqueror's Haki offensively. Kaido is older and has been doing it for years. I do not see Luffy overwhelming him with this newfound power. It's probably got a time limit on it, being that it's new to him. There's a time limit on it or something. I don't see this being simply Luffy getting a power up and beating the OG on some courage or whatever. You know what I mean? Eventually he's gonna beat Kaido. I don't know how, but it might. Maybe he just punks him. His will is stronger than Kaido's, which is entirely possible. He's the future Pirate King. So I don't know how that's gonna go, but I don't think it's gonna go. I don't think it's over by any stretch of the imagination. When we get down to Kid and Killer, they get confronted by Hawkins, which sets up another fight that has to be resolved. There are a lot of fights going on in this arc. I don't know how they're going to be resolved, and I don't want to see them resolved off screen. So, in that respect, I don't know I can't say that Oda's painting himself into a corner because he doesn't do that very often, if at all. But he's setting up a lot of fights. I'm not sure he's finished setting up fights for the Red Scabbards. There's probably a few more that's going to pop off with them. Then you got Big Mom's crew that's running around. All of those guys haven't got fights, individual fights, although they might not get individual fights. But there's a lot of people running around, a lot of fights that can be set up, and a lot of fights that need to be resolved. So apparently Hawkins thinks that there's a 92% chance that Killer's going to die which basically tells me that he's not going to die. Or he could die. I don't really care. Kill ain't my problem. Which brings us to the bit that I really don't especially dig. Nami and Ussop are a problem for me because, their little stick with, crying and weeping and, carrying on like cowards, which is, whatever. It's wearing thin with me, you know what I'm saying? This is a battle between Yonko, Cruz, the Toby Roval, none of them are crying, you know what I'm saying? And if you go, head to head, Nami and Ussop should be lower level Toby Roval, which I guess would be Ulti and Page One, but they're clearly outmatched by these two to the point where they're weeping and, and talking about they don't want to die or whatever. Now, the problem for me is the Tama is not weeping and not crying. It's standing up like a G. You know what I'm saying? She said she don't care what happens to her. She said, I just got to get over there, command those troops that ate the Kibidongos, and do whatever I can to help win this fight. And these cats that are like 10 years older than her, roughly, is weeping and crying, saying that they don't want to die. I mean, I can put up with the stick for so long, but in the end of the day, this is the Pirate King's crew, And it's not like they're fighting lower. This ain't Fishman Island. On Fishman Island, actually, they stood up pretty well. They were showing their balls on Fishman Island, but now all of a sudden, their spines turn to jelly. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. I mean, that's just what they do. That's what they do. Eventually, her courage rubs off on them, and they stop weeping and actually try to put in some work. So Ussop, he fires off his ordnance, and actually, I'm not saying he doesn't put Page One down, but he knocks him off of the little dog horse thingy. He knocks him to the ground at least, and at least gets him riled up. He's wheezing a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Page One is wheezing a little bit, which means he did some amount of damage. Now here's where the other problem comes in. Okay, Ussop finally did some damage to Page One, which makes me think that maybe he's got some kind of ordinance that can bring the man down, or the beast down, or whatever. In comes Big Mom. Okay, Big Mom comes in. They commence to crying again. But again, Tama, clearly having, bigger balls than the other two, she speaks to Big Mom on friendly terms, and now we get introduced all of a sudden with the fact that Big Mom is soft towards children. It's kind of left field to me, but whatever. And that, the fact that Okaburo Town was destroyed by Kaido's men infuriates Big Mom, because to her, there's a code of ethics, even among pirates, even though her exact words is the official translation. She says, do you know that even in the cruel world of pirates, there is still a code of honor, you clowns? And one shots Page One with a conqueror's hockey and just puts him down. I mean, it's conqueror's hockey and probably armament, whatever. Yeah, man, she doesn't even touch him. Yeah, it's got to be that conqueror's hockey, and she just lays him out. Now, Page One ain't queen, so he might not get back up. He might be dead. I don't know. It's an impressive shot, and she's cheesed. I mean, she just lays him out. Here's what, now you take away the opportunity for Ussop and Nami to level up by defeating somebody that's considered to be unbeatable to them. You take away their agency. You know what I mean? I don't dig that. I don't especially dig that. Now, I always thought that Big Mom was going to turn on Kaido. And I kind of thought that at some point not that Big Mom will be an ally to the Straw Hats, but at least call off her debt, or not her debt, but call off her vendetta against Luffy for some reason, whatever. And just because, Luffy has that power to make friends out of enemies. That's his thing. You know what I'm saying? So either he was going to make a friend of Big Mom or just be a neutral party and leave them alone. I don't know how this is going to work out, but I trust the Oda to figure it out. But like I say, there's a lot of fights a lot of undercards, a couple of big main fights, and some of these fights I'm not really sure about. I don't know how Nami, I know Nami's going to get Zeus. I don't know how Usopp's going to level up, even though he's got observation hockey, but it's not doing him any good. They're stuck at the bottom. I don't know. They're stuck being weak. I just wish they would stop crying. I mean, that crying stuff is getting on my nerves. Anyway, chapter 1011 is going to be, its worth is going to be determined by what precedes it, in my mind. I wasn't really happy with this chapter, but I don't think it's bad. It's just that I don't know where it's going. Once I see where it's going, it's going to probably just be another step that, if you read the entire arc, it makes sense and you're fine with it. But at this point, it's kind of hard to come to terms with. But hope springs eternal. Next chapter, 1012, will probably straighten all of this out. Oda is king. So until next time, let me know what you think. Let me know if you think the Cowardly duo is ever going to rise above weeping in front of their enemies and begging for their lives. Let me know if that bothers you at all. Maybe you think it's funny. I mean, it's not the end of the world. I'm not going to. Anyway, it is what it is. Let me know your thoughts. Otherwise, out in the Crisis Corner. I'll see you next time. Stay close.